Last week, we spent 2 hours going over every little thing in Season 1 that drove us crazy or that we loved. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Gleeboot!
Yay.
Well done.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well done.
Hi, I'm Cullen.
Alyssa.
I'm Hannah.
And I'd like to introduce our first special guest.
Boaz, I'm just happy to be here.
The man who explained exactly how Jewish or not Jewish Rachel Berry is.
Yes.
And that
Your local rabbi.
and that is how he's connected to Glee, as all people in my life are now connected to Glee. Because I talk about this podcast all the time.
Yes. It was a throwback.
Yeah. So today we watched Season 2, Episode 1, Audition. The Season 2 opener. The pop culture phenomenon at the height of its power.
Was this the height of its power?
I feel like late Season 1, early Season 2 was when the show was like the most popular.
I
Really?
really hope not.
I
don't think so. I
I
think
did
it was-
not enjoy this episode.
I think
I
the
think it was like 3
Nielsen
or 4.
ratings would disagree.
Oh, when do you think Glee was the most popular?
It's got to be somewhere in season 3.
Yeah.
Like maybe mid season 2 is where it really picks up, but Audition is like one of their most like tuned into episodes, like when it first aired, per Wikipedia. So that's my source on that.
Do you think everyone who watched it was as disappointed as I was?
I like that we're starting there, but I actually really want to start with, so Boaz, I want to know like your relationship to Glee. I want to know what's going on.
My relationship to Glee was there was one summer where I had oodles of free time and I just binged it. And I got pretty far. I think I got up to the season where Rachel and what's his name?
Finn?
No, where Rachel. I'm blinking. This is like the first time I watched in a while where they were in New York and she.
Oh, Rachel and Kurt.
Yeah, Rachel and Kurt were in New York and they were like having a rough time starting out there.
That's season 4.
Yeah, it's probably season 4. I think I might have gotten a season past that as well.
Spoilers, guys.
Oh, spoilers! Crap.
There's gonna be some spoilers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
Whoops.
you made it to season 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's farther than any of us.
Ooh.
Here.
No, I've
I should be
seen
running this show.
parts of season 4, because I do remember Kurt and Rachel being in New York doing whatever it is they're doing in New York. We're not gonna say, but yeah, I
Murdering.
do remember that.
Yeah, they're solving the murder of Will Schuester.
And Terry Schuster. They think
Terry
Will did
Schuster.
it. They think Will dropped the rock on her.
This show just got infinitely more interesting.
Yeah, it turns into a Nancy Drew type show. Yeah.
So season 2 opens with our favorite character, Jacob Ben Israel,
I
Oh.
so
The
fucking
human-
hate him.
the human pimple.
Uh,
Fun fact: Ben Israel means son of Israel. So that was a pretty creative name.
He has the Star of David on his
Yeah,
microphone.
yeah.
Does he?
I think he's
I
like
didn't
a
even notice.
monocelled character right there.
I totally missed that.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I think
He
like, I was
was-
distracted by him holding up that sign and saying like "Big Gay Summer," and I was like, "Okay, here we go."
Glee's Big Gay Summer. This is actually, as much as I hate Jacob Ben Israel, I like this as a way to introduce the season. They have Jacob Ben Israel acting, like, talking about how terrible Glee Club is and running around interviewing people and asking them about their summer and what they did. And it's, like, a good way to, like, catch us up on all the characters and everything that's going on.
I particularly liked how he referred to her child as a bastard child.
Oh, to Quinn's baby.
Yeah, I was thinking like no one uses that term really anymore. We should bring that back.
Or not.
Or not.
Let's not do that.
Featuring a note that we all wrote down. He comes up.
Except for me, because I don't take notes.
He's talking to Finn and Rachel, and he's all like, "How do you respond to accusations that like you're too bossy or controlling or whatever?" and it's annoying your fellow Glee Club members. And Finn is like, as her boyfriend, I'd like to say Rachel is what you call a controlist.
Aw.
And she's all like, it's controlling. Controlist isn't a word.
Although I want to take a vote here who thinks controlist should be a word.
Oh,
I-
Yeah. Just side note, like, as much as I critique this show, there's a lot I want to adopt in my own personal day-to-day vocabulary. Like, controlist is a beautiful word, regardless of whether or not it's a real word. I just want to use that.
Well, once you start
Controlist.
using it, then it's a real word.
Yeah, let's go
That's
with that.
how
Yeah.
language works.
Yeah. Stop being a controlist.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great scene where Rachel, because Rachel's like, do my comments sometimes annoy my fellow Glee Club members? And Finn is just like, yes. Exasperated.
Wait. There was one of them that said something along the lines of, like, I spent the summer lost in the sewers.
Yeah.
And
Brittany.
I also want to say that.
It was Brittany.
Yeah.
So he's talking to Quinn about her bastard child, and the camera keeps looking at Santana's boobs, which we'll come to later. And then Brittany's like, people think I went on vacation, but I spent the summer lost in the sewers.
That's kind of a vacation, you know? Adventure.
Great It reference.
She's actually Pennywise.
Oh, there was this golden moment where Kurt got slushied. And my first thought to Cullen was like, the dry cleaners in this town must make a killing. And Cullen was like, yeah, the Glee Club dry cleaner. Like, he's the wealthiest man in town.
He has to dry clean all their costumes
Yeah.
that they have for every little performance.
Yeah, side note, like, I was also asking, like, they all, in all these episodes, they have all these matching outfits. And, like, in this, not to get too far ahead, but, like, one of the complaints in the episode is Glee Club is, like, losing their funding. I was thinking, and then a second later, they all have these, like, designed outfits with, like, matching accessories. I'm thinking, who's paying for this? Like, how can they afford all these outfits?
This
Who
world
knows?
is not reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
It is
Everything.
again an alternate universe. Like, this episode does not take place in the exact same universe as the previous season's episodes,
Yeah, the Gleeverse.
because everything you just take the characters out and you put them in a new setting, and there's slight variations that's like, wait a second, didn't we cover this? No, you forgot. Awesome.
There's a great moment, though, where Jacob Ben Israel is talking to Will, and he's like, how do you respond to a poll on my blog saying that everyone wants you to stop rapping?
It's a forum. So my big question is, like, how often is he rapping in public that it has become a public forum? Like, that's upsetting. Like, it's bad enough that, like, his students have to deal with it, and, like, the audience members. But that means other students are, like, walking down the hall past the Glee Club room being like, are you fucking kidding me again?
And he's like, the kids don't like my rapping, and it's the most meta moment because we're all like,
even the
Yeah.
show knows that it needs to stop.
I don't think he raps again.
Oh, thank God.
I'm pretty sure they just leave all the rapping to Artie, which is
Not
a choice.
much better, but maybe a little.
I mean, we can
better.
continue to talk about rapping because it does keep happening in this episode for some fucking reason.
Oh.
Yeah. So also in the intro we get he's asking Tina and Mike Chang if they're dating. They say, because we're both Asian, that's so racist, and they walk off holding hands.
And then he proceeds to ask them, how do you get the white on rice? So there's that too.
Wait, before we move on too much from Will, I just want to know something. Like, it's kind of mean, but from the moment I saw him on screen to, like, the ending of the episode, I kept thinking that Will has a face that I feel like I'd find on a potato chip. I'm not sure why. Just like his features. Like, I would
Wait. On
Like, I'd be
Ruffles potato chip?
I feel
or-
like I'm eating some kind of potato chip. I'd be looking at it, like the pattern. I feel like I would see Will's face on there.
It's gotta be his
And
hair.
that's all I was
His hair
thinking.
is so wavy that all you can think of is like...
The swirls.
And then he has that dimple in his chin, so maybe
Yeah,
his whole
it's
face
just
is
like-
waves.
Yeah, just like
He's
that's.
just a wavy face.
Will Schuster
That's
has
what-
ridges, just like Ruffles.
I couldn't stop thinking of that every time I saw him on screen. I was just like,
Will.
You
No,
should
like,
like,
I'd be
take a
thinking,
bite
like-
out of him.
oh yeah, there's Mr. Potato Chip. I
yummy.
mean Will.
Okay, before we get too far, I want to interject and say I am drinking a drink, an alcoholic
Oh.
drink. And
Yeah.
it is a dirty martini made with
Okay.
gin.
I'm
Complete
also
with
drinking
olives.
gin.
You're
I'm-
drinking gin too?
I'm drinking gin. So I found this fun recipe with limoncello, gin, and tonic water. And it's like a lemon drop in a cup. It's so good.
This is not a lemon drop in a cup.
It's a dirty martini.
It is.
You said that.
It even has the olives in it. Like, it's
Ooh.
definitely not lemon.
Yeah, I drank too much last night, so I'm drinking water
That's very adult of you.
for my body.
No, you're not.
I have my water bottle on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Don't judge me.
I was judging you because you were talking about hydrating, but...
Was this planned, Cullen? Like, do all your water bottles match your shirts?
I just have a lot of red things.
Cullen is literally all he wears are primaries.
Yeah.
That's all he owns.
He's like a movie
primary
target.
colors.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a superhero in real life.
My fashion icon is like a Lego person, like solid colors.
Emmett from the Lego movie.
Yes.
We have digressed quite a bit. Quite a bit.
That happened.
Welcome to Gleeboot.
Yes, we digress a lot.
All right.
Speaking of digressions, if you like musical TV shows, you should watch Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. It's a new musical TV show with the girl from Suburgatory, the guy from Pitch Perfect, the woman from Gilmore Girls.
There's a lot of vagueness happening in your description.
Yeah.
It's a new show on NBC about a woman, she's a young woman, who's in an MRI. She's getting an MRI and an earthquake happens, and she's in San Francisco, and so then now she like hears people burst into song to express their emotions.
Scrubs did it already.
But this is a full show featuring a Glee alum, Alex Newell.
Side note, I'm really glad that you reference each person by like what character they played. Because for people like me, I don't know who anyone's name is. So you'd be like listening to these characters, like, who's that? Who's that? But you're like the woman from Gilmore Girls, this person from that. And I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
I have the exact opposite problem.
Yeah.
I don't know any actor or actress's name. I can only pinpoint people by the characters in
Same.
the show.
The exact same problem then.
No, what you were saying was opposite.
No, he was saying the
The
same
exact
thing.
Yeah,
same.
he was saying that like he has to know like what like they were another character in another show, that kind of thing.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. You say names like, cool, it's a person.
But who's Alex who?
Alex Newell is in season
Yeah, so you could
For-
have met this person.
of Glee.
Okay, so I wouldn't even know if you
Yeah.
said the character's name.
Yeah.
We did meet someone very pivotal to Alyssa's life. Do you remember that quiz?
My goodness.
that we
I
took?
made a comment.
Yeah, we met Alyssa's boyfriend.
We as you if you remember, we took a Glee quiz where we were matched with a Glee boyfriend.
I don't remember who I got.
You're like, I want it to be Jesse St. James. But
No,
I'm
you
pretty
got
sure
someone.
you got
like,
Artie.
No, she didn't get Artie.
I,
think
might
she
have.
did.
I think I got some like garbage human.
Listeners, you
being.
can easily go back and check. Like,
Yeah, you
No,
can
you
fact check
got-
for us.
we can't remember.
She-
Yeah,
she
I
got-
don't actually know.
She got Artie. I got Blaine.
Yeah, you got someone who's basically perfect, but then Alyssa got someone she hadn't met yet. I think I got a garbage human being.
Sam. I got Sam. I just met my boyfriend.
It's a romantic day here at Gleeboot.
I can relate though because I used to be the new kid a lot, so we would have something to talk about.
Oh, sparks are flying.
Love is in the air. All right.
Are we going in chronological order or no?
Yeah, so I wanted to start with the opening because I felt like the opening kind of introduced us to all the storylines of the episode. It's a very like well crafted device. As a writer, I admire it. But we have the storylines. We have the Will Sue Beast feud. We have Finn. We have Rachel. We have the tardy of it all, and we have Quinn and Santana. Where would we like to start? Hannah, you pick the first one. There are lots of storylines this week.
There's so many storylines. I kind of want to get the one that I find the most uncomfortable out of the way, and that's going to be the Will Sue Beast one. It's a lot of uncomfy.
Bad choices were made in the show, in real life.
Very questionable.
Yeah. So
I lose a lot of respect, what very little I had for pretty much everyone in that storyline. I guess except for Beast, because I didn't know this person before. So it was hard to watch.
Some yeah.
Oh yeah, this episode, I was realizing like, was everyone pretty garbage except for maybe Finn? And we'll
I
think
had a
of
really hard time.
Well, what I think was really interesting about this whole dynamic between like Beast and Will and
Sue.
Sue was that yeah, a lot of it was very immature and childish and kind of like overemphasized. But something I think that was actually very realistically portrayed was while Sue and Will were bullying Beast, you saw how Beast in turn would take it out on the players.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that was a very realistic depiction of how like how our the way we treat others has like a social ripple effect
Yeah.
on how like their day will go and how they'll go about people, like, you know, how they treat people in turn, basically.
Yeah, we
So I think that was
talked
like the
about
only
the
realistic
cycle.
part of this episode that I've seen.
Yeah, we talked about the cycle of abuse with like Quinn and her dad, and
Yeah.
how like that just kind of feeds into pretty much how she treats everybody.
And now we saw how like Beast got crap from, you know, Will and Sue, and then in turn kind of took it out on Finn and kicked him off the team.
And just to lay the latest string of the adults at William McKinley High School really taking their personal problems out on children.
Well, that's how you know it's a teen show, you know, when like the adults are just as immature as the teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're just all...
Or like less mature than teenagers.
Then it's really a teenage show.
Yeah. These adults are the worst, and they have a pretty bad storyline. So as we jump into it, it starts with like all the tryouts are put up on the bulletin board, and there's a huge line for the Cheerios tryout list, but no one wants to sign up for the Glee Club. And Sue talks about getting a court summons for child endangerment because there's been a line of girls out there since July. And some of them one girl ate a pigeon, others started worshiping a possum carcass.
Yes.
As their lord.
That's my new religion right there, right there.
So
Find
good.
roadkill and just, you know, prostrate yourself.
The possumite.
Yes.
Your new religion. Yeah.
Then she gets like a page on her pager, which I died at. I can't believe she has a pager.
I love it.
Sue is in high. She's a terrible person, but she's pretty entertaining this episode.
Yeah. Every episode we're talking about.
We've seen some.
She's a
We've seen
character.
things.
She's a character.
I think she's really funny up front, but then when she gets into her stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't like any of this.
Can anyone here envision Sue being their mother?
I can't envision Sue being anybody's mother.
It would be quite the experience.
It's something the show may or may not discuss later on.
Interesting.
Sue adopts Will. Spoilers.
Oh, God.
So good.
Yeah. So Sue and Will are on good terms now. They're friends. And Sue's like, I don't have to destroy Glee Club because you do a great job yourself.
Which I just want to point out that I totally forgot that they like had a friendship. That they became friends.
I did too.
Completely forgot about it. I was like, wait, when did they become friends? Still have no idea when that actually happened.
It's when she gave the Glee Club another chance. She blackmailed Figgins or something.
She blackmailed that man like 5 times.
Yeah, she did. But the last time she did it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they're brought into a meeting with the new football coach Beast, and they're told that their funding will be cut by 10% to go to the football team in hopes of increasing the football team's wins and getting more revenue.
And Beast has all these epic like sayings that make
no sense.
They do not. They make no sense.
Really
You're
giving Sue a taste of her own medicine of just like bananas comebacks.
Yeah.
Yes. But I just want to point out here that the minute that I saw Beast, I was really thrown off because she looks incredibly similar to Ken Tanaka. body type, face shape, everything about them, they're just very similar visually, and it really threw me through a loop.
The police are coming for you for that statement, Melissa. I can hear them.
Wow. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah, no, like they definitely have like they even kind of dress the same too. I didn't even realize any of that. But yeah, it's kind of like,
do you think that was purposeful?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to give Glee too much credit, but maybe. I think really they're probably banking on like the external masculine features that she has and kind of building off of that, but maybe it was a casting choice to look like Ken in that aspect. I love that they were like, oh, Will is like, where did he go? And Figgins is like, he had a nervous breakdown. And it's like, yeah, so did I.
Also, side note, we watch with the subtitles. And I cannot... It's hard to explain. Every time I think about her name, Beast, I automatically turn it into Beastie because of the way it's spelled in the subtitles.
Me too.
Oh, is there an E at the end?
Yes,
okay,
there is.
Right.
Yeah. It's French, okay? It's French.
But that's not how you would pronounce it in French.
How would you pronounce it?
France.
It depends on if the I comes before the E.
I think it does.
But I don't.
I think it's Bieste.
Guys,
could be
don't bring logic into this. Okay, it's Gleeverse.
Yeah, well, we have to, otherwise.
Speaking of Gleeverse, for some reason I kept wondering also, like, are these kids ever in class?
No.
No.
Only
Are there
when
any scenes where they're in the classroom, or
there were.
Yeah.
There was one.
One, all right.
When she was teaching Spanish.
Okay.
There have been a
very,
couple.
very beginning.
Where is she? Wait, the school.
No,
like,
not Sue.
the one that's like
Sue.
OCD. The one with
Emma?
anxiety. Yeah.
Notably not in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hanging out with her dentist boyfriend. That's what we learned the last episode, that she had a dentist boyfriend.
So
Yes.
one person.
But there was an entire summer for them to get married, so.
So one person in this show is living their best life.
Do we
And
meet
it's Emma.
Emma's family yet?
No.
Yes.
We have not met Emma's family.
Emma has a family? Spoilers, guys.
Yeah. So other than saying hilarious things like you're all coffee and no omelet, and Sue is like a male football or female football coach, like a male nurse, sin against nature. It's... What do you guys think of Coach Beast when we meet her and she explains why the Cheerios and the Glee Club should have their funding cut and it should go to football?
I'm on her side. Like, she literally is like, what does it say about the football team when the cheerleading squad gets way more funding from like alumni and outside sources? Like, I'm on her side because she makes a really good point that like the funding really does come for certain types of athletics, unfortunately, and that like if they want to help the school overall, they really have to emphasize their sports in some way.
Well, then, Hannah, what do you think about what the principal said about it being an investment for future funding going to cheer and Glee?
Well, yeah, like that's what it is. He's saying we have to cut now so that we can re-emphasize what's going on with the football team, so that they get interest from the town, so that they can end up having more funding later on. Like, it makes sense. Yeah, so like I'm on her side. Yeah.
I think she sucks.
Really?
I think she's like a rude, abrasive person.
That was a great segue. Like, Hannah gave a really well thought out thing. And it's like, I think she sucks.
Which is really funny because that's very opposite. Normally, I'm the one who's like, that sucks, and Cullen's giving a very thoughtful answer.
That was good.
Yeah,
Season 2, baby.
Season 2, shaking things up just like they did on Glee. I don't like hate her. I just think that like she's all like, you guys got in third place, why should you get funding? And I'm like, funding isn't just about who wins, especially for the arts. And I hate to ever like share an opinion with Will Schuester because God forbid, but I'm just kind of like it's different, and I can understand the Cheerios. They have a massive budget, and like 10% for them is like a lot of money that can support football. But like, what is the 10% from Glee Club's budget gonna do for football? But it will really hurt the Glee Club.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely think that like it would make more sense, again, if Figgins actually paid attention in the various seminars he says he's going to, he would learn that, oh, I should give my smaller clubs, let them keep all their funding, and take the ginormous funding and cut that up from this one organization that just like really doesn't need all of that.
Honestly, about Beast, my main issue with Beast is I feel like she's like a character that the show's trying too much to like get us to like, and like the inner rebel in me is like, no, well, if they want me to like her, then I'm not gonna like her. But you know, she's like very sympathetic.
First
she seems like
impressions? Really? Your first impression of her?
Oh, just first impressions?
Just first impression.
Whoops.
So still very thoughtful.
I'm not even drinking. No, I think first impression wise, she is a character the audience is kind of like geared towards disliking because she's saying things like, because you know she's trying to cut funding from Glee and things like that, and the Cheerios. So I think that she's also someone who like you would expect to be like the new nemesis of like Glee and Will, despite how like within an episode that they just turn that around.
Glee burns through storylines.
Yeah.
Like the California wildfires.
Oh, they'll start one and then just throw it in the trash. Like, whoopsie. Like, they just, like, don't even, like, further discuss it. It's just, like, what happened?
We'll never know.
Yeah.
I think my first impression with Beast was, I'm gonna be kind of more with Cullen here in that she comes off as very abrasive. But I was honestly just trying to figure out if it was Ken Tanaka playing a woman. Which sounds terrible, I know, but they look so similar to me for some reason. And give me a little credit here, we haven't seen Ken Tanaka in a really long time.
That's true. Ken has literally not been seen in probably at least 10 episodes.
Was he even in, like, past episode 13?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He was
just having his nervous breakdown. Also, it was spring, so, like, he wasn't probably there for basketball season.
So, yeah, I was just kind of wrestling with that internally and feeling like a terrible person because I could not figure it out. I eventually got there. I was like, no, the voice is not the same. The voice is not even close. So, her voice is much more feminine.
Yeah. So that's our first impressions of Beast. And as the storyline ties into the fact that Will wants he needs another member for the Glee Club because Matt, the one who had spiders in his ears, famously, and never said anything except for, I used to be just another football player.
And then we're like, sweetie, you still
are.
And then our point was proven and then he disappeared.
He just transferred. He diminished into the West. He transferred and remained Matt, who had spiders in his ears once. And and so now they need another member. And so to promote, because they want to go to nationals, which is going to be in New York. So they sing, because at first people don't want new members. Tina's like, I like the group we have. But Rachel and Finn are like, we need new members. And Finn's like, oh, I side with Rachel. And Brittany's just like, gross. And I use that all the time now because of this moment. Like, things will happen and I'll just be like, gross. Like, that's just my... Because of Brittany.
No one is going to know that it's Brittany.
Yeah, no, I forgot it was Brittany where I got it from. But so this episode has influenced my life.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So they decide to sing New York, Concrete Jungle, Where Dreams Are Made Of.
Okay, wait.
Wait, this is getting into the other storyline, though.
They decided to sing New York because nationals are in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought was really funny
totally missed that. I totally missed it. I just thought they randomly decided to sing New York, and I had no idea why.
No, I thought what was funny about the whole thing was they were kind of like, we need new members, but like we're not cool enough. Let's show them that we're cool by like desperately trying to like get people to join by just like approaching them randomly between classes. Like we're cool. We're not desperate. Just come to our club.
Yeah, they're singing a song. I think one of the maybe the first time that they're singing a song that had just come out within like the past year and a half. Because that song probably had just come out.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like an old person.
Same. I think this episode was designed to have a lot more like recent music.
Yeah.
And it was also the first time we see the outdoor set of like the outdoor.
Yes, I did mention that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did.
First time her seeing that set. Okay.
That very obviously like California high school, because no high school in Ohio.
Nope.
We have an outdoor.
It's just
lecture.
impractical.
Yeah.
Outdoor
also,
anything.
if it's supposed to be like September, like when August, September, when school starts up, sure, they could use it at that time. But in like 5 weeks, it's going to be pointless, empty outdoor space. So why do you have a bunch of tables out there as if it's your cafeteria? Oh, because it's Southern California. Right.
Oh.
I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked.
Did your high school have an outdoor seating area?
One did, and the other was just like a parking lot. So everything was outdoors.
Wait, so your entire school was outdoors?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like it's like they call it a campus. Like a lot of people call them campuses, and they're like buildings like you have to walk outside to get to other
exactly.
buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird.
Wouldn't have that
College
in Ohio.
That's so strange. Okay.
Yeah.
If we didn't mention this, I don't know if we did. Boaz is from Southern California.
I am.
Yeah. Native.
What do we call them? Or us? Like Los Angelians or
Angelinos? Are you
and
from
there
Los
we go,
Angeles?
Angelinos. I should
Los
know
Angeles?
this. Yeah,
Yeah,
born and raised. I should know
you
this.
just learned the term Angelino.
Yeah, because
I'm a
non-natives
Midwesterner.
call us that.
Yeah, I bet like you guys, like people from Los Angeles probably don't be like, I'm an Angelino. It's probably like transplants that call themselves Angelinos.
Or call us Angelinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people stare and goggle at me after I tell them I was born here. Like, what? You are my first. And I'm like, glad to be your first, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll touch on some of the results of the New York performance, but Will is upset because no one signed up to their desperate plea, and he talks to Sue, and Sue's like, you want new recruits? If you have no budget, you'll have to cut kids. So he decides to team up with Sue to make Beast miserable and straight up bully her into quitting. Like, they order all these pizzas to practice and make her pay for them.
Which
and
is such a
Well, can you explain
weird...
that, actually?
Yeah, like
they ordered everything in pizzas. I thought it was some kind of like hidden insult or something. And I didn't understand what that...
Well, it's supposed to be like, you're fat, you eat a lot of food.
Is that what it was?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was that, and then she'd have to pay for them.
I thought
it was only that she would have to pay for them.
Yeah.
I thought it was some kind of like hidden insult, like some message or...
Yeah, I think it
symbol.
was her based like on her size, because the people were snickering at her. Like, oh, you'd order 25 pizzas for yourself.
Okay, but here's the thing. So in a later scene, we see her eating an entire chicken at lunch. But at this point, we haven't seen her eat a lot of food. So it doesn't make any sense to use that joke there.
Well, it actually does, because people don't really judge other people based off like evidence, just how things appear.
But this is a TV show, so we need
Especially
to see
on
things
TV.
in order.
But especially in the TV show, they wouldn't judge based off like...
No, I'm not talking about people judging. I'm talking about when you're writing a joke.
Oh, I see.
You have to write things so they come in order, so that the audience can see it and then understand that this is a punchline.
Well, let's just assume for a moment that like the pizza thing was like a jab at Beast's size. I know. I'm pretty sure we're all not a fan of Will, but what does this really make us? What do we think of Will at this point? That he's body shaming. He's willing to body shame just so that he can get funding for his like Glee club. Like,
If I'm
Honestly,
honest, I'm not
didn't
surprised
think
that
it
he was like stooping that low because like I think
No,
he's
no.
garbage.
but I wonder how much of like Glee's audience thought that way. You know, like
Yeah, they're supposed to think he's great,
Mm-hmm.
but he sang the
Did they
thong
actually
song.
think he's great?
But he sang the thong song, and like, how could you ever forgive him for that? How could you
I
ever think
heard
he was a
that-
decent person?
I heard that song like at a bowling alley, and I was like, Will.
Lee's just like influencing so many parts of your life, Colin. Just
So
We-
at
we-
seeing
work,
it everywhere.
Glee
At
is everywhere.
they use we use like Giphy a lot in our messages and like our inner office messaging system. And the other day, someone sent one that was from Glee, and I literally typed was Glee triggered. Because that's my reaction. So there are so many songs. Like I can't listen to this New York Jay-Z song, like the original, without thinking of those garbage outfits. So there's that.
At least the outfits and accessories did look like they were purchased at Dollar Tree.
That explains it. That explains where they can find these last minute
Outfits.
yeah
Yeah.
with cut funding.
With cut funding. Yeah, so then after she's forced to pay for the pizza
Well,
and
first,
she makes
the guy who delivers the pizza, he's literally like he's like
Reuse his
if
diapers.
he's like if you don't take these, I have to pay for them, and then that means we have to reuse my kids' diapers. And I think
And
he's
he's
like
like 12.
again. And I just like I don't understand how any of that could be funny to anyone in that scene. Like it was just like really uncomfortable and cringe. Like I was cringing this whole storyline because I was just like, that's really sad that like she has to now make the decision to do this out of like the goodness of her heart and to like prevent severe awkwardness from continuing. But
I don't know why that guy just wouldn't buy reusable diapers in the first place.
because they're a fucking hassle. Reusable diapers?
Yeah, but if he's if they don't have money, then you buy reusable diapers.
They are not cheaper.
Yeah, I think they're actually more expensive.
Yeah, because they're an
Like,
expensive
don't-
investment up front, and then you have to like you go through them so fast that like you have to wash them constantly, and like you have to have a lot to really like
And then that's a laundry bill
privileged
and a
thing.
water bill.
Yeah,
And,
it's
yeah.
I hated that scene. Also, like him and Sue were like off on the side, like snickering like children, and I'm like, this is deplorable, and I hate that.
That was the worst. That was the worst part of the entire scene. Just
Or
watching
how-
them like laugh at it. It
Well,
was
at the end,
so bad.
sorry, at the end when Beast comes out and says, "Hey, there's pizza in there if you want,"
Mhm.
do you think Beast knew that they did it, or that Beast was just being nice?
Oh no, she definitely did. Like she
She
has like a
knew.
look where she like
Yeah.
She
smiles as
definitely
she walks
knew.
away. And I'm like, okay, good on her for being like subtly being like, I know what you did, but not like outwardly saying it. I don't know. There was some respect happening there for Beast from me.
Yeah, but like Sue is literally talking about bullying her into quitting, and Will is just like, tee yes. And I'm like, aren't you all like anti-bullying? I'm the moral compass. And
No, dude,
and-
Will is a follower.
That's true. And also Sue is literally like, we are targeting stuff that she dealt with in high school. Like that's kind of like a running theme of all their quote unquote pranks, is that they're trying to target the insecurities that she must have had growing up so that it becomes such a toxic environment. Like this is obviously harassment, but it's such a toxic environment that like she just like reverts back to her high school self and goes through whatever it was that she had there and just decides to leave. Like it's very dirty. Like I don't think Sue ever played that dirty with Will, and it's like really, really dirty here.
Well, people get weird when it comes to money. You know, Will never affected her funding. I don't think
he
Did
did.
He
That's
did.
why she hates him.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops!
But
It's been a while, guys.
That and she hates his hair.
which
True.
relatable.
Yes.
So wavy.
It's a potato
so
chip. Of course she
crunchy.
eats it.
Yes,
She's
it's
trying to stay
potato
fit.
chip.
She's trying to stay fit, and he keeps making her want to eat potato chips.
Yeah. So then they like won't let her sit with them, and she's all like, I heard that Sue was the bully and that you were really cool, but I guess they were wrong about that. Beast says that to Will because he won't let her sit with him, and she
Okay.
leaves.
So
And I'm like, I wrote Will is cool? Question mark.
this goes back to like when Jesse tried to get sources on Rachel and someone else tried to get sources on someone else. I was like, who is telling everybody these lies about other people at William McKinley High School? Like,
Jacob
who-
Ben Israel.
probably that little snitch. I hate him.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was like a really heartbreaking scene though when Beast goes into the room and she just wants somewhere to eat lunch. And that's all you ever want. Like, you know, when you're the new kid, lunch is the worst. Period. I hated lunch. Hated it.
I think like this kind of goes back to something that Boaz said earlier about like it being such a teen show now because even the adults are experiencing teen-like issues. Like this is very like very childish, and even the show is very open about that. So yeah, like we're not talking about how like Will wants to get back with Emma or like Will and his marriage issues. Like it's all focused in the school. So it actually feels more grounded in a really weird way. So yeah, I think I definitely did feel heartbroken for Beast because of that. That like it kind of felt like she was like a kid again, trying to figure out where she fits in.
If anything, I think she was the most adult out of all the adults in this show.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of like it kind of backfired. They were trying to, or sorry, at least it's ironic how they try to get her to revert to her child self when they kind of were the ones reverting to their child selves, or maybe their adult selves. I don't know. It's like they're pretty childish.
Well,
anyway.
you would like to think that this wouldn't ever happen in like a professional workplace.
Oh, please.
But you know it's gotta happen.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking
Maybe
about
not quite so on the nose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
if we're,
could be some really garbage people out there.
if we're-
masses or asses.
especially in Ohio.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I love digging at Ohio. We know this.
Because you're a Michigander.
I'm a Michigander. Yeah.
Ugh.
That's awesome. Like Angela's, what is that?
Angelino.
Angelino, Michigander, like all these weird.
Hoosier.
Ohio.
They all sound like gibberish. Like all.
Oh wait, yeah,
Ohioan.
Alyssa, you're also a Hoosier,
Yeah,
right?
I'm a Hoosier and a Michigander. Yeah.
Why
She
isn't
gets
it
the
called
best of both worlds?
Okay, triggered. Also, I'm just gonna say this right now. Bobo Jackson from Hannah Montana makes another comeback in this episode, just like slamming on the bass later on. So we get to talk about that. But why? Okay, this is a complete sidebar. Why is it a Hoosier and not like an Indiananer?
I have
Hoosier.
no idea.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Huh.
I don't
just,
know
like,
where
realized
Hoosier comes from.
Who do we complain to about this?
Indiana.
I don't think there's so much. The president. He's the only
Dear
person in
state of
Mike
Indiana.
Pence.
Who's the governor? I don't know.
Was it Mike Pence?
I don't know.
Was Mike
It's
Pence the
been a
governor
while,
of Indiana?
Yeah.
I should know things like this. I
Yeah.
don't.
Aren't you proud?
All right.
It hurts
So-
too much to learn about politics these days. Anyway,
Sue, so we just talked about Beast being an adult, but in the next scene, we see her crying in the locker room, and it's pretty sympathetic. Puck's making a sexist joke.
ugh. It was.
Ugh.
I was like, of course he would start this scene with that sexist joke. Just like
What do you say?
he said,
That-
you know why Helen Keller couldn't drive? Because she's a woman, and then everyone laughs except me and also everyone else.
I had to give a presentation on Helen Keller.
Yeah, Helen Keller didn't deserve this.
Interesting.
And what happens next is Beast then, in the grand tradition of Glee adults, takes her rage out on children because this touches into Finn's plot, which we'll get to. But Finn wants to ask Artie if he could try out, and she's like, "You're gonna make me look bad by telling this kid, no, you're gonna make me look like a monster." And is like, and he's like, dude, you're overreacting, and she's like, dude, you're out.
Doesn't she like grab him? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like she manhandles him outside.
Yeah. That was
part of the
really
way.
uncomfy. Yeah, no,
Because
like
she's yelling, she's screaming no, she's throwing things.
she makes it like the first part of that I think is dramatically really good with all the storylines coming together right there with like what she's experiencing and like just Finn being Finn, but he doesn't know what she's going through. So like you can see where the stories converge and it's a really good moment, but like literally the second she grabs him, I'm out of it and I'm like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah, she released the beast.
Oh, nice. The Panther. The fact that she refers to herself in third person as the Panther, I was like,
It's epic. Come on.
like I want to like it because I'm like, okay, sure, but I'm also like, I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, I'm, as Boaz was saying earlier about her being a character that the show really wants you to like, I think maybe I'm just having that where I'm like, yeah, I don't care for her. Like, I feel bad for her. I feel sympathy because she's being bullied and harassed in this terrible way, but nothing about her makes me like her.
Why?
Because most of the time I see her just like yelling at people,
Okay.
No, what are you talking about?
yelling at the football team and
That
stuff.
that was just like one scene.
I mean, it
She's
is
rather
like
collected.
the very few scenes that we do see with her, like with the kids, she is really aggressive. Like that's obviously like her teaching / coaching style. But like when she's with the other adults, she's much more I don't want to say level-headed necessarily, but more
Calm.
demure, calm,
Reserved.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, has anyone here met like a football coach or like
Right.
a contact sports coach? Like, they yell at us all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's like, I think that could be a like a gendered thing. Is there a reason that it's bothering me more when she's doing it than if a male person is doing it? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
don't
let's
have that-
unpack that, Cullen.
yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I don't have the one-to-one comparison. I just know that like I tend to, when people can only communicate through yelling,
Yeah.
I like don't care for them, and so I don't really care for Beast. And we just have like different views on life.
Well, bear in mind though, like it'd be different if you see Beast speak to the students like in the hallway or like one-to-one about something like separate from sports. But like I think you've been on a sports team in high school.
Yeah.
But like we have like especially like a contact sport, like coaches yell at us yell at you all the time. Like that's just part of like being in the locker room or being on the field. That's where you get yelled at the most. It's their job to yell at you.
Yeah, it's their job, but sometimes there's a line that I feel like they do cross.
Oh, of course, they're human.
Yeah, and I just feel like her character tends to sit on the opposite side of the line for me.
Well, the interesting thing about this particular scene is that even though she's yelling at Finn, it's not because she's trying to get him to do something for the football team. It's because she's emotionally overwhelmed by being bullied.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference between, you know, coaching and letting your emotions get a hold of you.
For sure.
So
It's a very good point also about how, like, you know, they say most bullies are being bullied or have been bullied themselves.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates to what I was saying earlier about how, like, it was a simple yet, like, very, like, succinct representation of how when people treat someone else badly, it has, like, a ripple effect socially.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
thing
think
is-
this is like the first time we're seeing her, so like if these are all the moments we get with her and we don't have any future context, like it does make sense that like she's just probably not likable to a lot of audience members.
And I don't remember a lot of her scenes, so I am just basing it off of this one episode. So
I
my
remember
opinions
a
could
lot
change.
about her. So,
There is,
yeah.
because she does react in a way where she's being bullied and she's overwhelmed, but she has a chance to like give Finn a second chance, and she's mad at Will, and so she won't.
I also did not like that part of the scene
Ken
where
Tanaka's that too.
she was not where it was specifically about Will and she was still taking it out on Finn.
Yeah. because he's like, football is important. She's like, I thought you were the Glee kid. And it's like, because he put up posters in the locker room about that were like, sign up. He based them off of military pamphlets he saw put up at
He
the
said he made
daycare
them
center.
masculine, and I was like, putting camo and a skull on it made it masculine? Okay, Finn, I love you, you dork.
What I love about shows like this is they remind me like what high school was not. Like
Yes.
high school was
Yeah.
not like this for anyone I knew. Like it was way more boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much more boring.
Although there was something that maybe we'll get to later when we get to some of the other storylines. But I do want to bring up something that you talked about during the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. There's, I feel like high school TV shows, they take, like, everyone has like a very out of this world moment or like one or two memories from high school that feels dramatic. And they're just like, what if one character's life was nothing but those like one moment that everyone has, and it's just like slammed with those moments.
I mean, we had like a couple like serious things happen, like teachers stabbing themselves in class, or like more like, you know, darker stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was like maybe like happened like 2 separate times in 4 years. But like in TV shows like this, it's like every other day. It's like, well, she's pregnant, and then, you know, there's like a coup against the football coach or whatever. It's just...
I don't remember anyone in Glee being stabbed, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's more Riverdale.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that you were saying, and this is what I wanted to bring up, I actually realized it goes, no, not that. It goes well with what we're talking about, is that you were saying that sports take up so much of your time that you don't actually have time to do any other extracurriculars.
Especially if it's like varsity. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And he was the quarterback, so like he was like basically captain from what we understood about his role.
I was never in sports, so I can't say this specifically, but I do want to say that in my high school it was very common for the people who were in sports to be in AP classes and at least 2 other extracurriculars all at the same time.
Right, but what I was trying to comment on is that like that was also very common in my high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only difference is that for like it would make sense for someone to have extracurriculars if it wasn't that team's season. That makes that sports season. So for example, like I was a varsity wrestler, so like that's a winter sport. So like when we didn't have like a season, if it wasn't like winter or whatever, then like during the spring we would still have practice, but it wasn't as long, and we had more time to delegate to like other extracurriculars. But like I can't envision like someone having 3-hour practices, meets, you know, very often with other schools, and then still having time to like rent a Glee club and do other things on top of AP classes, getting home very late, and then going to sleep until you can wake up in the morning for your morning classes. Well, that's a different issue.
I feel like a lot of the kids in my school were probably on drugs.
Oh, okay.
I was never offered drugs, but they were all
like Adderall.
Really, yeah. I mean, I went to a really like it was college prep for kids who came from like rich families. So I get the feeling that they had the funds to support all of what they were doing.
Did we go to the same high school?
I don't know.
Are
No, we
you
did not, because I was
no?
in Indiana. And your high school was outside. So.
Yeah, all right.
Sue has Brittany accuse Beast of touching her boobs, and she's like, put Beast on the sex offender registry, fire her, and then Will walks in.
Wait, I love this part. Will just bursts into the office saying, like, I'm sorry I'm late. And like, who invited you to this meeting?
Why is Will there? I don't know. It's the Gleeverse.
It's like,
he just like bursts in, and then he's the one who guides Brittany's conversation. Like, in real life, no teacher would be there. Like, it would just be the student, the principal, and like a counselor. Like, Emma should be
that's
there.
what I said.
Like, that's where.
Yeah.
Where is Emma?
I was ranting about this, and I think you said that like it seems like they just invited all of her coaches to like suss this out.
Yeah.
Poor Brittany, though. Can you imagine, like, someone like Sue is such a terrible person in this moment.
Yeah, it was a garbage.
Such a
storyline.
bad person.
Yeah.
Especially like just in general of like obviously like post Me Too movement and stuff like that, but like in general, even in 2010 when this aired, the women making up sexual harassment or sexual assault stories for whatever, it was just like it's such a dangerous thing to bring up, and Glee is not the place to be handling that very nuanced conversation. So like it was all a whole bunch of just cringe. And like Beast didn't even like I'm surprised Beast didn't like freak out and like press charges like on the school.
Especially since Sue like especially said like exactly like I want her on a registry.
Yeah.
That is really serious.
It's super serious and like really fucked up that Sue would do that.
Yeah. So Will convinces Brittany to tell the truth, and she's like, she didn't touch my boobs. Actually, I want to touch her boobs.
Foreshadowing.
And it just, I love Brittany. Even this was a pretty rough scene for her, but she didn't lie at the end of the day. And you see her leaving, clutching the doll.
The doll that looks like her or Quinn.
Yeah,
it was really uncomfy.
Very
something
strange.
I was wondering about this show is why are the cheerleaders always in uniform? It
saves them having to costume them.
Yeah,
they shower with them as well.
It's part of their being a Cheerio. Like they have to have their hair back. They have to, and they always have to have it dry cleaned and pressed like every couple days. It's like it was like a whole thing that Sue once explained.
Because I had that same question earlier.
Yeah. I think we talked about it on an episode that I may or may not have edited. Or
so,
listened to, I can't remember which.
After this, Will apologizes to Beast. Sue tries to feed them turd cookies, and Will's
very well disguised. Very well disguised.
Yeah, they can smell them, and Will is like, I'm not doing this anymore, and Sue is like, you're turning against me in public. This will be the worst decision ever made since the Mexican Indians sold Manhattan to George Washington for an upskirt photo of Betsy Ross.
Which is hilarious. Because photographs didn't exist when that happened.
That's what's funny about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing I latched onto, besides the whole thing.
And to get back to Will's apology, so he says, I didn't realize, I thought Glee Club was popular now, and then I realized we were outcasts, and I realized I was making you feel like an outcast. And
when did he realize this?
And that makes me feel bad. But the reality is, Will is the worst kind of person, because the moment he feels any power or popularity, he instantly forgets what it was like to feel an outcast and uses it to hurt other people.
Not to mention, this apology sucks.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yep.
You don't apologize to someone by being like, I'm sorry, I feel like this. Now I know what you feel like. It's just all I see. No. Yeah, you have to be like, I'm sorry that I did this to you. You must feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble. I'm almost halfway through my drink.
Ooh, Cullen, you just made me realize, I didn't see this, but I think it's very rich that in this specific episode, you have Will giving Rachel crap and acting morally superior, given what he was just doing to Beast. And now at the end, he's kind of like, telling her off. Sorry?
He might as well have sent Beast to a crack house too.
Yeah, like he's telling Rachel off when he's been doing like just as crappy. I think she actually did worse things. Like he tried to cost someone their livelihood or their career. Rachel just tried to prevent someone from joining a club at school. you know? So it's kind of ironic that he's just telling her off at the end.
I also am
Yeah,
really
that's
confused why he even thought Glee or New Directions is what their official name is called. I'm surprised they didn't use it 5,000 times. Why New Directions is even popular because, okay, one, he starts the episode with like knowing all of this like crap information from Ben, Jacob, and Israel about how the Glee Club sucks. And then no one wants to sign up for his club. Like, where is he getting that like Glee is popular? Like, did he just make it up? Like, they didn't
He's
even
breaking
win.
down the wall. He's breaking down the third wall. You know, it's like, you know, popular with audiences.
Oh, there
Will.
you go. That's exactly
There
what
you
it
go.
is. That's like I think it was Ian Brennan who wrote or directed this episode. I can't remember which. But whoever wrote it and directed it, it's putting their pride about the show growing into Will's
Yeah.
head. Very writer's hands in that for sure.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Boaz the psychologist, right there.
So who do we want to talk about next?
Did we
Finn,
talk...
Rachel,
Who else?
Quinn, Artie, and Tina.
Could you do Sam? Because I really want to discuss this weird thing I noticed.
All right, let's talk about Finn.
Let's talk about Sam's mouth for conservatively an hour and a half.
Finn, when they're singing New York, sees Sam tapping along, and so then he's in the locker room putting up signs, and he hears Sam singing "Every Rose Has Its Thorns" in the shower, and it is a recreation of the scene where Will hears Finn singing in the shower, because they do the same like lean through the lockers, the same like shot of the legs dancing in the water. It's like a conscious recreation.
Yes, and it doesn't like... I don't know how I feel about it because like Finn obviously doesn't know that happened with Shu. So like I don't know how I feel about it. It was just really, again, not fun to watch. I also don't like that song that he was singing, so that made it worse.
Well, I didn't like it at first, but then when Finn actually addresses the issue, and he's like, yeah, but I wasn't going to start singing because the dude was naked. And then I was like, yeah. Okay, we understand what's happening here.
Well, what I thought was very funny about that is that he says, yeah, I'm not going to start singing with him because like he's naked. And then immediately cuts away to like being in like auditorium, and you see immediately a picture of two microphones crossed. And I'm thinking, like, is that a phallic symbol? Like, why would they do that?
Interesting.
Did anyone else notice that? Like,
I did not notice
that. Was the immediate shot right after.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and watch only that 4 seconds. That's so interesting.
Like, why would they do that?
So kind of like in the shower scenes, we were saying like obviously like Glee didn't want to go there with like Finn singing along. But Pitch Perfect went there, so just gonna say that.
Pitch Perfect had the gusto.
Had the guts to do it, and you know what? Good for them.
Yeah. So Finn, then him and Artie talk to Sam. They're kind of like courting him to come to the Glee Club because Finn's like, I'm the courting him. Yeah, like you're courting a new artist to join your label or something.
I don't think I've ever put it quite like that, and I like it. It's kind of cute.
And he's like, I'm the quarterback, so what I say is cool. And they bring Sam in to all the guys, and Puck, it's like, your mouth is huge. How many tennis balls can you fit in it? And he's like, oh, I haven't had any balls in my mouth. Have you? And like Finn and Puck are like, basically like mad respect.
Okay, so I want to break this moment down really quick because so I keep wanting to call him by his nickname that he gets before or later, but Sam says that line, and then it's Puck's face really quick where he has this like weird smile, and then it goes to Finn. So like I understood what was happening, but for a split second, I thought Puck was picturing what he did over the summer, maybe some like experimentation. That was my first thought, because it was a very awkward smile. So yeah, maybe Puck did have balls in his mouth, and we'll never know.
Okay, guys, can I just, like, say what I thought of this moment here.
No, let's move on.
Before. No, I really want to say it, please. Okay. So
I will not deprive you.
When Puck says, "How many tennis balls can you fit in your mouth?" I immediately went to Sam is like a golden retriever.
Accurate description.
Wow.
Wow, you nailed it. He's just like a little puppy.
He has the long, shaggy blonde hair, and he has the big mouth and stuffed tennis balls in him. And then he said, "No, because I don't put balls in my mouth. Have you?"
Yeah, that was defensive. I was like,
And I just was
he's just like in his mind, he's thinking, "Fuck, they're onto me."
They know I'm a dog.
I'm
an animal.
Exactly. He's wearing a suit, like in the locker room. Maybe Eddie got in to sing. He got like a zipper on his back.
Like the deal I made with the witch for a human's body said this wouldn't happen.
Yeah. We need like a Sam backstory.
He's like Air Bud for football, and he's also really good at singing now.
Oh my god.
Sam is even like a golden retriever name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. He's
Wow.
just a big fluffy puppy, guys.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. He's very soft and cuddly looking.
I really want you to like approach people at parties like that. Like, are you a dog?
Are you a
She's
dog?
like-
I know you are. I know. Good boy, Sam.
Yeah. So they sing Billionaire. How do you feel about Mike Chang's dancing during this?
I loved it. I thought he was on tempo for once. He was doing great. I love that there's a lot of really bad lip singing in this episode. But I liked that clearly he was not participating, actually singing. He was just moving his lips along to the words. But his dancing was great. Yeah.
So I know this is the Gleeverse, and I make a lot of I bring logic too much into this, but I'm just so glad with Billionaire that this is like the only scene I've seen this episode where there's actual instruments there, like in the scene.
Right. Yeah.
And other scenes, like there's dancing randomly in the hallway, and there's instruments. You're thinking like, where's the drum? Where's the bass coming from? Is it like the speakers in the hallway? Like,
It's the rhythm of their
who has a
heart.
guitar?
That's what it is. All the music comes from their souls.
Yeah.
I got the music in me.
Na 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 na. Yeah. All right. Yeah, guys, use your indie streaming services, Disney Plus. Very important. So yeah, Bobo Jackson from Hannah Montana on the bass. He was really like my guiding angel in that scene because I was really uncomfy. There was more rapping. Didn't care for
Artie
it.
was rapping.
I didn't care for it.
So Bobo Jackson from Hannah Montana was the guy on the bass?
Yeah, so a really long time ago, I had spotted him. I was like, he looks like the guy who played Jackson in Hannah Montana, and I have since called him Bobo Jackson. He was there again. I think he's like a 7-year senior. Or he's just a guy who lives in that building and no one has kicked him out yet. Because he's a sick bass player.
He sings Billionaire, and they convince him to audition for the Glee Club. But after Finn gets cut from the football team for trying to help Artie, because Artie wants to be like a battering ram on the team, he really wants to try out. And Finn brings him in. We talked about this. Beast gets upset, and Finn gets cut. Sam doesn't want. He's already the new kid, so he doesn't want more problems. So he doesn't want to join Glee. So he doesn't audition.
But he does make quarterback.
He does become the quarterback.
Yeah.
He does take Finn's spot.
The only position he said that Finn knows.
I'm like, it's the only position Glee knows exists.
Yeah.
In football.
Well, okay, to be fair, the people watching Glee
Also
that
probably
might be the only position they know.
accurate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's remember the football episode when us three talking about Kurt singing Single Ladies in football.
Yeah, they know.
And
So,
how
okay, the
good
audience
we do.
knows quarterback, which Finn was, and now Sam, and they also know the thing that Kurt did. They may
Kicker.
know it as a kicker, or they may just know it as the thing Kurt did.
And then after he's cut, he tries out for the cheerleaders. because he wants to be popular again.
Great
And
cartwheel, by the way.
he does, yeah.
It was so precious. The way they
I
cut that scene
Loved
though
it.
was like, at first Sue's like coming up to Shu, and she was like, I can't even get it out of my brain or something like that. And then it cuts to him doing
No,
like,
I
the
think
most
she said, "I can't burn it out of my eyes."
yes. And I was like, then we cut to him doing, he's like, hi, I'm Finn, and I want to try out for Cheerios because I got cut from football. And then he does to I Got the Power. He does this great little dancing number. It was like, he's such a doofus. He's so cute.
His dancing has not improved,
No.
by the way. It might have gotten worse for this scene.
Finn does actually seem, though, more adult and confident. Like first season, he was more
Oh, yeah,
goofy,
definitely.
like,
Oh, just wait.
but
Just
he
wait.
like
It's just he's episode 1.
he's like he's kind of like a different person, and it was kind of striking because he just like seems much more confident, and he seems more like he's actually in his 20s, whereas like you could kind of say like, oh yeah, Finn, I guess the actor could seem like a teenager because he's really good at acting like a teenager, but this was like actually the only moment that I felt like he actually had that like teenager vibe. The rest of it, I was like, that is a 28-year-old man playing a 17-year-old.
And that's really the end of Finn's storyline ties into Rachel's. So should we do Rachel next?
Rachel and Sunshine Corazon.
Yeah. She also sees Sunshine during the New York number, and then my note says, is racist to her.
Yeah, that's kind of how it
Really,
transitions.
I had like 3 thoughts between their like dialogue. First, she speaks very slowly because like she thinks that she's a foreigner,
And
then she
loudly.
speaks very quickly to like explain her logic, and then she ends like a sandwich really slowly.
Yeah.
So that didn't really make much sense. And then my next thought was kind of like with Finn and Sam. I'm like, why are they approaching new members in like locker rooms and girls' bathrooms? Like not just like at lunch and outside or whatever, just kind of going to private places. And then the last thing I thought, I don't know why I voiced this to you guys, but I was thinking I low-key don't trust people who don't like pizza or dogs.
So if they don't like pizza or Sam.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
I don't know where that came from. But I was thinking that as they were singing, like, Gaga's song. But yeah, I just wanted to get that on the podcast. I don't trust you if you don't like pizza or dogs.
Just put that out. Into the
Sorry, Dad.
universe.
I don't know.
Wait, guys, this means my boyfriend is a golden retriever.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you mad about that? I mean, he's so loyal and adorable.
Okay.
He can fit so many tennis balls in his mouth.
Well,
Well,
bring you,
we
you
haven't
know,
confirmed
birds.
it. We haven't confirmed the number, but we suspect it's at least 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you yawning?
I'm laughing and yawning at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't deny that.
So
Rachel's
super aggressive, and Sunshine's just trying to have fun. And
Sunshine is this cute little adorable girl, okay? And she has a banging voice.
And they sing Telephone together by Lady Gaga
and Beyonce.
and Beyonce. Yeah. And because she's singing Telephone, and then Rachel starts aggressively singing Telephone at
It
her
was-
because she feels threatened.
Very, very aggressive.
So
In the
aggressive.
girls' bathroom.
Like she was literally bursting Sunshine's personal bubble multiple times. Like I'm pretty sure like Rachel flicked her hair and hit Sunshine in the face with it. Also, did Rachel have bangs at the end of the last season? I think these are new, right? The bangs.
I think they're new bangs.
Fringe.
Yeah.
They look great.
They might be.
They look
Season
terrific.
2 for new things.
Yeah, so good. Loved them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she flicked her hair and hit Sunshine in the face with it.
I was half expecting Rachel to just like full out like bitch slap her.
Yeah,
That's how
I
aggressive
did
it was.
too. I thought
Yeah.
she was gonna literally jump her.
And they're singing, and then Sue walks into the bathroom, and it's just like,
Shut up.
shut up.
Shut up! It's
And
so
that is
good.
the reason Boaz picked this episode.
I
that
didn't pick this episode.
that's
You did.
I did? I picked this episode?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like, if you want to be on my podcast, like, what episode of Glee would you pick? And you're like, what's the one where they're singing and Sue is like, shut up? And I'm like, oh, season 2, episode 1
Wow.
audition.
I surprised even me.
And that's why you're our first guest.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I was wondering why. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, why would
I have the
Cullen
memory of a
punish
squirrel.
me like this? I thought we were
It
friends.
cannot be any worse than mine.
Yeah. So then she tries to convince Kurt and Mercedes because
Wait, sorry. It just makes so much sense now because like while we're watching it, Cullen was like, "Yeah, I think you said that you remember why you chose this episode for this scene." And I heard it as like, see this scene, this is why we chose you for the episode. So I was just thinking, cool, I don't know what that means. I'm like, okay.
What does it say about me?
Like, I didn't ask any follow-up questions. I should have. So.
You guys have a lot to work out in your friendship. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So, Kurt and Mercedes are just playing around in the choir room, and Mercedes is like, "Is that a women's sweater?" And Kurt is like, "Fashion has no gender."
Which is true.
It's true. And Rachel walks in and is like, "I'm so worried about you guys. Sunshine has a really good voice. She's gonna take all your solos, and you should be worried." So I paid Karofsky to slushy us brutally in front of her locker to scare her from auditioning, and Mercedes and Kurt are like, "You're crazy and selfish." Like, no. And so then she's like, "Okay." And then she gives Sunshine, "Here's directions for the address for auditions." And
it's a crack house.
It's a crack house. Later,
not an active crack house.
Not an active crack house, as Rachel says.
But what does that mean,
drugs.
though? Because like,
she
says that like they try to use her sheet music as toilet paper. And like, side note, I don't know who cleared this because they
Ryan Murphy.
Have like a heavy...
His name is Ryan Murphy.
Okay, Murphy. So like, they made her have like they portrayed her having a very heavy accent.
That could have just been an actress.
When she said sheet music, what I heard at first was they used my shit music as toilet paper.
Yes.
And I was thinking like that's not cool. Like,
yeah.
And then I read the subtitles like, oh, she said sheet. So that was a
that's the actor. Yeah. But
okay.
everything you've seen on screen was okayed by Ryan Murphy. Just in case you had anyone you want to complain to, Ryan Murphy. That's who.
I'll be writing a very strongly worded letter.
Good.
Hannah just wants to be certain.
Specifically about this episode.
Yeah, Hannah wants to be certain everyone knows Ryan Murphy is responsible for Glee.
And also, what I think is funny is that like everyone's so stressed about like getting new people and like and whatever, and then like someone gets in and is like, "Ooh, we found a worthy person." I'm just thinking like, all you need to get into Glee Club is like a pulse and a throat. That's literally all you need. And so it's kind of like, you know, they're all like so surprised that like someone made it into Glee. Yeah. It's not that hard.
Well,
yeah, and he said it's open auditions, anyone can join.
Yeah, and so like when they're confronting Rachel about sending Sunshine to the non-active crack house, like I think this is when it's like Tina and Mike who are
Tina
like,
and Mike getting some screen time.
How did you guys even find out? They're like, he's like, the Asian community is very close. It's very tight is what he said. But then like she's basically saying that like she sent her there because also for these two, because besides like Kurt and Mercedes not getting solos that she would be threatening, Sunshine would also threaten like, what if she's a good dancer? So then she literally says, your contributions to Glee Club will be more insignificant than they are now, essentially. And I'm like, why is Shu not saying something about the way she's speaking to her fellow Glee Club members? Like, that's disgusting, what she just said.
Rachel is not a good person in this episode. She's just not.
And
she is not.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm also very confused about the end, so I'm really excited to talk about that because I have no idea.
Oh, I would love to pitch in on this because I was just telling like Cullen while we were watching Rachel sing her solo, how like every time Rachel sings, she's like looking like she's about to burst into tears.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking like, Jesus Christ, this woman needs therapy. Like, she needs like just some like
squint singing.
So.
Yeah,
having a freak out each time on her face every time she's singing.
Yeah, the quintessential Leah Michelle squint singing. That's It's beautiful. I'm so
Yeah.
glad someone else is as passionate about it as I am.
So I have something that I want to say about the writing in this scene, just a little bit, like just when Rachel says, you know, I paid what's his name?
Karofsky.
Karofsky. Okay.
You gotta get
when she says
name.
Karofsky.
Gotta get
I have to do it in like a Russian accent.
Karofsky.
Karofsky.
Oh.
Вы говорите по-русски?
Oh, what?
No.
Karofsky.
Toy.
That's cool.
Anyway, when she pays Karofsky to actually, like, you know, slushy them.
Very fitting.
Nobody needs to know about that. Basically, I was waiting for it the entire episode, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
It never happened. That would have been, do you know, the perfect place to put that for a joke would have been right after they see her leaving.
Yeah, like, they should have taken advantage of the fact that, like, she put that out there that, like, hey, we might get slushied. And instead, like, they made it seem like, she talked to him. So she must have talked to him and be like, oh, no, you were not going to do that. But, like, Karofsky, so he...
But she never did. She never went to him and said, hey, don't do this.
We don't know that.
Yeah, but everything is supposed to happen on screen.
But we know.
But it doesn't.
Does it?
Because it's Glee. But it was such a wasted joke.
It also doesn't make sense because even if she went to Karofsky, like, he's thrown a slushie in her face before. Even if she went to him and said, hey, don't do this, I want my money back, or like, you can keep the money, don't do it, he would still do it. So you're right. Like, they should have definitely done that logically. It would have made sense.
Yeah.
And it would have been
I was very disappointed.
Don't bring logic into this.
It was literally the only time that I was like looking forward to them getting slushied. And then it didn't happen. I was not happy.
You want your money back?
Yes.
I was just happy Mike Chang is getting more screen time and Tina's getting some screen time.
Do we have to have like a Tina and a Mike time? Like Mike getting lines time too?
Tina time, Mike time. Maybe.
Yeah, but Tina's like, Rachel's just a bizarre little freak who wants to hold on to power. And I'm like, Tina feels strongly about this. And because she sent Rachel to a crack house, Rachel is
Sunshine to a crack.
Yeah, Rachel sent Sunshine to a crack house.
So wait, can we analyze this for a second?
What?
How does Rachel know where crack houses are? That's not like openly advertised. Like, no going like, you know,
maybe there's one
looking for jobs on like, LinkedIn. Like,
you know, like
openly advertised. Okay, if you go to a high school, there are gonna be rumors.
I think Rachel is just kind of sketchy. It might be like her like hanging out outside of Glee, how she kind of relaxes and like takes the stress off.
But it's not active. It's not active.
According to her, she had to clarify that.
She's like, this scene is dead here. She treats it like a club.
She couldn't sing there anymore. They were sick of her high singing.
They're like, if you cry sing one more time, you're out of the crack house.
You're out.
Yeah.
She found them a replacement. Let's put it that way.
So she has Sunshine come to apologize, or she apologizes to Sunshine and says, if you want more sheet music, I'll buy you some. Just pick it up in the auditorium and audition for Glee Club. So she sings a song. Sunshine sings Listen from Dreamgirls. And Rachel is like, it was a Broadway show first, not a movie. And people were like, shut up. And it was like, perfect. And Sunshine does a lot of arm dancing.
Oh, yeah.
She does.
What's it called? The flailing arm man? That's what I was thinking about the whole time.
Oh, like in front of like a car dealership.
Yeah, like the Gumby thing.
Just like flopping around the whole time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because she just kept like throwing her arms out. So they welcome her to Glee Club, but
because she has a pulse in her throat.
She has a pulse in her throat, and she has an amazing voice.
She does have an amazing voice. She does.
And a pulse.
And a pulse. She is also a living human.
I mean, a pulse is not, if you can sing and you're dead, it's fine.
That should be their mascot, like a corpse, just a singing corpse.
Vampire. I was thinking more like vampire or something.
Your version is a lot better than mine. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah,
mine's a little darker. Just like, okay, never mind.
So that's Gleeboot. We go to places where we're like, why did I go here?
Let me take it back. Let me shove everything I just said back into my mouth.
Or edit?
Yeah, we edit. Yeah.
Kind of.
Nah, leave it in there. Leave it in there, you know.
Yeah, and then but then Vocal Adrenaline gets a tip off from Sue, who's mad at Will. And they have
give her a green card.
They give Sunshine and her mom a green card and a condo.
Like, what the fuck?
A condo.
And they move her from McKinley to the school of Lima High. Where I don't know where.
William McKinley High School. That's where they go.
No, but where does Vocal Adrenaline go?
They go to Vocal Adrenaline Academy.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Hogwarts.
So we meet a new season 2 villain, Dustin Goolsby, the new head coach of Vocal Adrenaline. And
Wait.
Yeah.
He's the head coach. Cullen, spoilers.
He
All he
says
said
it
was
not-
that
He says it.
No, he says, I'm her agent. That's what he said.
Ooh.
No, he said I'm the head coach of Vocal Adrenaline.
Yeah.
I watched this episode twice.
Wait. Yeah, he does. He says
He
he
does.
introduces himself as the agent. He's like, "Who are you? Her agent." And then he's like, "Also, I'm the blah blah blah." blah,
Oh,
blah,
well,
blah.
I definitely
Missed that.
blanked that out of my memory.
So it is. So he's the head coach of Vocal Adrenaline. So they lost Sunshine, and everyone is very mad at Rachel. Finn says that he convinced them not to give her a code red, which it took till my second time watching to realize he meant slushy. Because I'm like, does code red mean like one more strike and you're out of the Glee club?
No,
what
I
I
had
thought.
no idea what that
They
meant
have
until you
code
said
red
it was a
slushies?
slushie.
I mean, I knew it meant slushy, but I was confused. Like, I didn't realize there were code red slushies.
So is there like a code blue slushy, like a blue flavor, like blueberry?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm thinking like the Mountain Dew flavor, code red.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's just the
But they do
color.
have Baja Blast ones at Taco Bell. Fun fact.
No, I want that.
It's
that's-
so good. It's so good. Support your local Taco Bell. They need it.
Our sponsor.
I wish Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I'd eat cheesy gordita crunches all day.
So Finn, she's like, do it already. Rachel says to Finn, do it already. Break up with me. And Finn is all like, I don't want to break up with you. I still love you. And she's like, I just care so much about everyone in the Glee Club. And he's like, you have to admit it to yourself that you did this for you because you love yourself more than the Glee Club. And she does admit it. And they both say that they never break up with each other, which is the teen drama. So we know that's a lie. And they kiss.
Well, it was a cute moment, though. Come on. It was cute.
It was cute.
It was cute.
I didn't think it was cute.
I thought it was cute.
I'm with Hannah on this one. It was trash.
I thought it was garbage. I also, okay, this is where my confusion really begins. So Sunshine gets her new digs with Vocal Adrenaline, and like Sue walks by, and like that's where we get the idea, like, okay, that's who did it. But then we collide with Rachel and Finn, and then we see Kurt and Mercedes in the background, like looking salty or something. So like it kind of read to me that like they misunderstood Sunshine going to Vocal Adrenaline as Rachel having something to do with it.
Because Rachel did, because she said, I would have stayed, but that Rachel girl would have made my life hell.
And so like they overheard that or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea.
From across the hallway.
Yeah.
I didn't even see them.
That seemed really far
I don't
away.
remember them in that scene. I do want to say, though, that I was really disappointed that Sunshine was not going to be in Glee. Because I really was looking forward
It's
to
season
her
2,
as
episode
like
1.
a student in West McKinley High and like in the Glee Club and like, oh, a new character, yay!
Hey, it's season 2, episode 1. I think it happened this season.
Well,
People transfer schools like nothing. In
Yeah,
the
this is our
Gleeverse.
It is
second
true. It is
official.
true.
No, we'll transfer out, I guess. So like Jesse transferred in, then transferred out, and now Sunshine's transferring out.
Who's Spider Ear again?
Matt.
Matt.
Now I'll come back, probably. You know.
What happened to Matt? Did he die?
He transferred.
Oh, I thought he went to go live with the spiders like a month at a time.
The spider ate him.
He
From
actually turned out he was a spider.
He went to the same witch that Sam did.
No, he went to the Forbidden Forest in Hogwarts.
Matt couldn't live up to his potential in Glee Club, so he had to go back and become a spider from the witch. And the witch was like, "Here, you get this golden retriever who's now a human."
Wait, I'm sorry. Like, that's an epic plan B. Like, most people are like, "Oh, I'll just be a stripper. Screw college." Who says fuck high school? I'll just become a spider. Like, that's sick.
That's what Matt meant when he's like, I used to be just another football player.
Crawl, yeah.
Now I'm a spider.
It's like you crawl like in like the way like spiders' legs move. Just like
you know what?
Spiders are pretty awesome.
Don't
and
let
there are
your
some
dreams
really
just
cute
be
ones.
dreams. Live out your dream.
Be a spider.
Dreams are still dreams.
If anyone does not believe me that there are cute spiders, just Google it. Cute spiders.
I know. Thanks.
They're adorable. They're so freaking cute.
Those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach spider.
There we go.
I don't know where that.
That's the old adage.
As they say. Yeah. So, but I do think it's a cute moment because Finn's like, I'm just another Glee loser. Like, we're in this together, and it's cute that he still loves her even when she does something bad. I wish it wasn't this bad, but it's like I like their relationship. Then Rachel goes on to sing "What I Did for Love" from a chorus line, which is a song about where love is meant to be love of the spotlight, love of performance. So it does fit.
And she cries, of course.
But
and she cries, sings.
She sings it also then to the Glee Club, like when she's about to walk in or whatever. Like, it was just really confusing because, like, I understood that, like, her real intentions, but with those cuts, I was like, is she also doing it for the Glee Club, or is it all still very selfish? It was just very confusing to me.
It was never for the Glee Club. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was always about herself. I mean, and the song does say, can't regret, won't forget what I did for love.
Honestly, I hated this song, and I totally zoned basically the whole thing out.
Same. I didn't maybe pay attention to anything.
I
Except for her
should-
tears.
I should show
And
you
it's
the
the
chorus
last scene,
line
isn't
movie.
Yeah.
Isn't it the last scene?
Yes.
Not a great way to end. I thought it was super boring.
Cullen was satisfied.
Yeah, I liked
I
it.
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I hate
Though
it.
I was like,
confused.
in the new and in the Gleeboot, she's gonna sing "Love Myself" by Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
I love me.
Hey,
and,
another Pitch Perfect reference, sort of.
or she apologizes to the Glee Club by singing "Sorry" by Justin Bieber, and they all sing a mashup with "Too Late to Apologize" by One Republic.
Nice. So actually, like, talking about Glee booting it, I kind of want to see Rachel have to eat her words in front of the Glee Club, not just in front of Finn, because that would be much more satisfying. But frankly, like, she's a lesson learning machine, so like that's what she does. She's obviously forgotten all that like rah-rah teen spirit stuff that she learned last season. But like, I honestly feel like it would be much more satisfying growth point for the rest of the season if like we actually see on screen her doing like actually apologizing to everybody.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Though I'm gonna be honest, in my Gleeboot, this wouldn't be a plot.
I agree. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just scrap it. We don't
Because
need it.
it makes Rachel's already a selfish character, but it's so like unconscionable. Like
And
it's so
on the
bad.
nose. It's so on the nose.
It's so insane. It's just no.
She
this
sent her to
wouldn't
a
happen.
crack house. Like, that's
Like-
so gross.
Like
And
you could have Rachel pointedly not tell Sunshine about auditions.
right.
Well, see,
Or give her the wrong time. Tell her to go that like swim practice is in the auditorium, you know?
Or like send her to like a baby shower. I don't know. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Like, you could eventually make the whole crack house thing happen way later if you keep Sunshine in Glee and then use her throughout the episode and keep building the tension between the two. Then the crack house would actually make sense and make Rachel, like, seem still like a terrible person, but make her reasoning align a little bit more.
I just don't think I want Rachel to be that terrible.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think the whole crack house thing was meant to be comical.
It was.
I
supposed
think
to-
a lot of
was,
people
but-
took it that way.
Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, but
Yeah.
to
I
me
did
it made it.
laugh.
Yeah, it was supposed.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, like in Ohio, like you never know. We Ohioans are fucking crazy.
Have you been to downtown already?
When you're on crack too.
Listen, there's crack houses everywhere.
Yeah, and coming to a street near you.
like alongside your Taco Bell.
Perfect. It's great for business.
Yeah, no, like I also think that it would be really hard for people to keep liking Rachel if her bullying Sunshine the way she was for longer than the amount of time that she was would make it near impossible for us to forgive her. Like I even wrote down those like I guess we're kind of forgiving her by the end just because she, one, admitted it, and two, kind of apologized, both to Finn, to no one else. So, like, as much as, like, I would have liked to see, because I agree with Alyssa, I think it would have been fun to have another character who's, like, so sweet and, like, not being vindictive at all, and you just see, like, Rachel just letting her need for, she's like Tinkerbell, she needs applause to live. She needs that light, that spotlight. It would have been nice. It would have been interesting, I guess. But like Rachel, like it would have been really, really hard to forgive her by the time Sunshine like went to vocal adrenaline. At that point, we'd be like, "Thank God, good for her," but also like, we hate Rachel.
Yeah, this was already a deep enough cut to Rachel because I'm a Rachel fan, but oof. Did not like her this episode.
I mean, if she actually retained the lessons she learned, she would be so much more of like an interesting character.
Ooh,
but...
here's my Gleeboot. You would have Emma in the episode so she can see how Will is behaving, and have her, make some decisions about the relationship, how they feel.
Was it make some decisions like I decide to murder Will?
Hopefully,
I was going to go to have her put in a formal request to the school board of Ohio to get him his license revoked. That's what
license does he have?
Of
course.
Or have Emma confront Will about you're gonna judge Rachel, but you're bullying someone too.
Exactly.
I don't know. I like the murder plot better.
That's season 4.
That's American Horror Story Glee. This is the Glee.
Right.
We haven't gotten to that one yet.
Yeah, so that's the Rachel plotline. We just have 2 smaller ones to go over. We have the Artie and Tina. Artie is upset because Tina left him for Mike.
And stalks her.
And
that's creepy.
Yeah, he watches them dance around and stalks her, and he wants to be on the football team.
But they bonded. Tina and Mike Chang bonded at Asian camp.
Just in front of children.
Just called Asian camp.
Asian camp. And there are kids.
Okay, but Artie's the one who called it Asian camp, so
maybe it wasn't actually Asian.
I'm gonna say it's probably not called Asian camp, and Artie's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that. That's probably accurate.
Because Mike Chang is dancing around with his abs out in front of these children on cell phones.
Yes, and like one of the things
weird.
She says to Artie is like, "You were mean to me. You ignored me." He's like, "I was playing Halo," and she's like, "Whatever." Like he shares some of my interests, and one of those interests is Mike's abs, and I was like, same.
Yeah, because Artie was always terrible, and he calls her woman out. He's like, "I was playing Halo, woman," and she's all like, "Oh yeah, that'll make me come back to you." She's just like,
I didn't catch that. I did not catch that you said that.
I hate Artie so
calls her woman
much.
So much.
Honestly, okay.
If we had like Artie and Will in an arena Hunger Games style, who are we rooting for?
Artie.
The weapon that kills them both. I don't know. I guess Artie, because like he's young, he can still change, but Will's kind of set in his garbage ways.
Will's a lost cause.
Yeah. Just forget about him and his potato chip face.
Thank you so much. I knew we had
I'm never going to forget it. It's going to be a thread throughout the rest of the season, and our other guests are going to be like, what?
His dumb potato chip face. Get back in your bag, asshole.
Are we supposed to think that Artie is sympathetic? Like, are we supposed
Yeah.
to sympathize with
No,
him?
I think we are.
No,
We
we're not,
are.
no.
This is
That's an unreasonable ask.
I hated it. I dislike him so much,
Well,
and it was just not.
Actually,
not
guys,
there.
I'm level with you guys. I actually really like that he's garbage.
Yeah.
And hear me out. This is more of like a not so serious thing, but like oftentimes you'll see that in TV shows when we have some character who's disabled, either they're portrayed as like very sweet and really just a good person and kind of innocent,
Yeah.
or they're portrayed as like being very inappropriate and like, whatever. There's never like a nuanced how like you can have a character who happens to be in a wheelchair or a blind or whatever, where they're like they're complicated. Like either they're just like
they're an actual
they're just like an asshole who's like not overly crude or overly innocent, or they're just like interested in like video games. Yeah. It's always like they're the sweet innocent collie person, or like they're the really inappropriate like crude character.
Yeah.
But it's never just like, oh, this is not someone I have to like. This can just be a garbage person in a wheelchair. And like while it sounds kind of like counterintuitive when you're trying to be like not ignorant about these issues, that really humanizes the disabled community or the handicapped community much more. If that makes sense.
I agree.
It does.
I do.
Yeah, so it's kind of refreshing seeing a character who I can hate that's in a wheelchair too. It's kind of like cool. They're not trying to like pander to that audience.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the reverse of what that audience wants, from my understanding at least.
Yeah. I also think like our conversation about like how much we don't like Artie, I think also stems from that one episode I think I actually just edited that Allyssa like broke it open really well and was like, Glee often treats a lot of these characters as two-dimensional until we decide to focus a storyline on them, and then we give them some sort of third dimension, and that third dimension is like not really likable or we hate it. And so like this is us being that third dimension. So yeah.
Oh, so they weren't even trying to like do the right thing. They just kind of like do it anyway. Just kind of like make it.
I think
everyone.
It was an accident.
Whoops! I accidentally got it right.
Yeah, but I think it really does come to the fact that like probably like the next couple times we see Artie, he'll probably just be his 2D self where he's like, it's Artie, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, guys.
It's unfortunate.
Well, because he turns, it's like really weird because he turns from the 3D self who's really hating himself from, or really like feeling bad about Tina leaving him. So 3D Artie, not treating Tina well, and she leaves him for Mike. And
you go, girl.
Yeah, I was.
And don't turn around.
I was
don't look back.
So rooting for her. But then we get to Artie in the Finn storyline. He's back to the 2D self.
Yeah.
He just wants abs and to play football.
Yep. It's very strange the way that Glee just kind of jumps in and out of character storylines and only uses specific nuances of their personalities when it suits that storyline that they're trying to build. Exactly. And all in all, it's very kind of like disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
So our last storyline is the Quinn and Santana. So Quinn barters her way back onto the Cheerios because Sue is like, no. And she's all like, hey, you lost your budget. I bet you can get some donations from church groups with a cheerleader who's rehabilitated after being pregnant and speaks for abstinence-only education. And so Sue is impressed by that and lets her back on.
I'm impressed by that. Like, that's a really great Quinn flex. Like, she has had a couple moments like that. Like, when she, like, was first going to give the baby to Terry, and she was like, I need you to help me pay, like, my medical bills and all these things. Like, even though Terry didn't. Like, that was such, like, a strong flex from Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn is really smart. At the end of the day, she's smart and she can be cold, but she's really intelligent, and I do like that.
I mean, she's master manipulator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I respect her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she then tells Sue that Santana had a boob job, and then because there's a no plastics policy, Santana is ousted from the head cheerleader position.
Question.
Yeah.
Do we see the scene?
No.
Okay, so we do not actually see Quinn tell Sue about
Quick side note. Not side notes. Two things about this. First, I think Quinn is actually the only character in the show I actually like besides Sue. Secondly, how do we feel about like coaches like telling athletes or students what they can do outside of like practice or the games?
Oh, Sue's
like,
a terrible person.
I know, it's just kind of weird about like, it's like her boobs have nothing to do with, or her breasts have nothing to do with cheerleading.
Yeah.
She didn't get them like during like a meet or like during practice. I mean, obviously Sue's kind of like extreme and ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, like,
I mean,
but there are like certain programs out there where like, you know, they have codes of etiquette or whatever, and like they kick people out for something that has nothing to do with sports.
Honestly, like, I think that Sue was definitely overstepping her boundaries, but saying that boobs have nothing to do with cheerleading, that's probably untrue.
Why
I
is
have
that?
never cheerleaded. Cheered.
You've never
However, I do want to say that boobs kind of get in the way of everything, especially sports.
That's very true, but like I'd be very shocked if we didn't have a variety of women with different sized breasts.
Definitely.
Doing different sports.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, they do get in the way.
Yeah, but people could still cheer regardless.
Mm-hmm.
She just says that I think she means they have something to do with it because they're part of your body and you have to work it into how you perform.
Right, but I don't think they prevent you.
No, I don't think that's what she's saying.
I think that like Sue has this like what we were saying about how like the Cheerios always have to be in their uniforms. They always have to have their hair back in a certain way. Like, I'm actually surprised that Brittany's allowed to have bangs because Sue said that she keeps their hair up so that it doesn't distract from their talent. So like she has this all these strict policies about how they carry themselves, how they end up feeling about themselves, like crazy policies. Obviously, like she has like the borderline eating disorder element with Mercedes and Kurt. So like she's got this idea about what a Cheerio is, and because Santana did something to her body, probably without her permission, essentially, she has this sort of like this idea of what natural is for the Cheerios, and it doesn't fit that.
You know, frankly, I think that's the biggest component that you just named, is that it was without her permission. I think
Sue is a controlist, guys.
You nailed it. I was actually really confused about, like, so I know there are sometimes on Glee where, like, the writers put in things to the show that the actual actors are dealing with. Like I know there's been a lot of, like, digs at Kurt's voice that actually reflect a lot of the stuff that Chris Colfer, the actor, was sort of self-conscious about. There's a lot of dialogue about that online, about how the show pinpointed those things. And I actually was curious, like, I didn't know anything about this and I didn't look anything up, but I was wondering, like, I don't know how closely you guys are paying attention to Santana's boobs in earlier episodes, but, like, did they actually change? Or, like, do we think there was actually, like, some sort of physical change that she had done that they decided to address? Or did they just, like, dramatize that in her costume? Like,
actually, before we get into that, and I don't want to distract this too much, but I actually kind of feel uncomfortable with adults, not us, but like in the show, like adults like Sue commenting on like minors private, like boobs.
Yeah,
that to me was kind of weird.
Not kind of. It's very
very weird. Very inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know,
this is a safe space. You can say it's really fucking weird.
It's fucking that was like that's all I had to say. That was highly inappropriate.
Yeah, because like that whole conversation is about her breasts, and even the camera pans to her breasts. Then they pan to her breasts with Jacob Ben Israel. Like, there's a lot of like visual and vocal conversation about that area, and I was just like very confused.
I just think like whoever is like doesn't understand what we're saying, just so like let's use it for like a guy, for example. Let's say there's a well-endowed guy who has like a huge bulge, and then like a teacher or faculty has an entire meeting talking about your privates it's gross, you know.
Yeah,
like
it is.
it's a but that kind of I think all people kind of miss that element.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's different for women because people talk about our bodies all the time.
But I agree with you, but it's different. But that doesn't make it any less appropriate.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
or any more appropriate. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons. Like I said, I think that's very well put. That's probably why people don't think it's such a big deal, because it's Sue, a woman, talking to a minor who's a girl about her body in that way. But that, even though it's a woman doing it to a young girl, that's still an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was uncomfy, and all the camera panning to her boobs was uncomfy. And it was, I think, for this episode that they like probably had her put something in her costume.
Yeah.
And the next episode it'll be gone.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pay attention to that next episode.
That's what something that was bothering me. I was like, okay, like if that happened in real life, fine. But like if they're dramatizing it for the episode, like now like I'm binge watching it essentially, like I'm gonna be focused on that and like trying to find the consistency or inconsistency with it. And like now that's going to be like one of the only things I think about Santana. Like,
well, here's the thing. If she actually did get a real boob job in real life, it shouldn't be that big of an issue in the episode because an entire summer has gone by and she's still a teenager and she would have had time to grow. Like, they didn't need to address it if that's what they were trying to do.
Right.
It's not something that you would have needed to address. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I am interested to see if there is consistency.
On a lighter note, she does call her Santana Boobs McGee, which was a nickname one of my friends used for themselves for a bit in college.
Wow.
Cullen's Corner.
Kind of like aside from Anchorman, where I think he calls the Christina Applegate character Tits McGee.
Oh, that's what my friend went by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was close.
Yeah.
I think that was a riff on that, because that movie definitely predates this show.
Yeah. So Santana guesses that Quinn told Sue. And so we see Quinn putting on her cheerleader uniform, strutting down the hallway, and then Santana attacks her, and they're fighting. And she's all like, "You can't hit me. Oh, did you have another baby?" And they're hitting and slapping each other. And Brittany's just like, "Stop the violence."
I love that.
And it was amazing. And
Brittany's iconic.
Brittany's an
She
icon.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she... and Will comes in and stops the fight. And I think
Of course.
The violence, you mean?
Yeah, the violence. He stops the violence.
I mean, Santana does slap her. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that fight was epic. That was intense.
a real
that
fight.
was
Yeah.
that Lima Heights stuff that Santana has previously talked about.
Lima Heights adjacent. Yeah. And then the only button to that storyline is during the What I Did for Love. We see Quinn talking with Sue and then looking regretfully at Santana and at the bottom of the pyramid. And that was the episode.
Wow.
We got to the end.
We did. So you know what that means. Tina time!
Okay, I'm going to be totally honest. I was not counting, but Cullen was.
And we got 8 lines for Tina. Miss Tina
Wow.
Cohen Chang.
Wow.
She's speaking like a real character.
Oh boy. Go Tina.
I'm proud of Tina. She dubbed Artie. She got with Mike Chang, the least problematic character on Glee. And she had 8 lines.
There we go.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Now let's get. Should we do songs?
Sure.
Yeah. What was your least favorite song of the episode?
Oh, that one was so easy for me. It was New York.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for many reasons, but one of the reasons was Puck is given a certain line in which he says Jigga, Jigga, and I was like, I love that. So that's why I wrote
And
down.
by love, I mean
Hey.
totally hate.
Oh yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I had to rewind it. I was like, did he just say? And I rewound it. I was like, he did. Okay.
We even had the subtitles on, although the subtitles were really screwy for this episode.
Yeah. So you guys all picked New York?
Actually, Billionaire was pretty crappy. I'm not gonna lie.
I was going to go with Billionaire.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Because it wasn't necessarily bad as it was just boring.
Yeah.
I liked Billionaire. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked it more than New York. New York.
You guys are talking to someone who doesn't listen to pop music at all. Like, dislikes pop music.
Well, I don't either. Yeah. So I just have to literally just go by what's in the episode.
All right. And what was people's favorite song?
New York? No.
You're like,
I go with New York.
I could smell the judgments.
Before. We've had opposites before.
Yeah, we've had a lot of opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rachel's song?
Mine is What I Did for Love.
No.
Cullen, I respect your decision.
I hated the storyline. I hated Rachel, but I like that song. It's my favorite. That's not my favorite song in Chorus Line. My favorite is the song Nothing, but it is a great song.
I'm in total shock.
I'm not shocked.
Hannah's like, I can smell Cullen's basicness from Florida.
I liked Listen.
Me too.
Because I was still at the point where I thought Sunshine was going to be part of Glee.
Oh, that's got to be so disappointing.
It was really disappointing. I was like, oh my gosh, she has such a good voice. She's so charismatic.
Look at that arm dancing.
I was actually just like, at the beginning of the song, and here's where you know that it gets really good, okay? That she's good. I did not like the song. By the end of the song, I liked it.
Interesting. I like that song a lot. I liked her version of it for sure. I also was very distracted by the arm dancing, so like I actually did close my eyes at one point and did listen to it. I did exactly what she told me to do. Listen. So.
Boaz?
I don't. I think it's probably. I agree with you. I think it was actually was it a telephone song?
Oh, Telephone?
Yeah.
That's your favorite?
Probably.
Wait, what?
Telephone?
Telephone. That was the aggressive bathroom singing.
Oh, that one was very entertaining. It was a little bit scary.
It was too much Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel was very annoying to me in this episode.
I think what this episode has proven is that Rachel would literally bludgeon someone to death. To sing, yeah.
Yeah, no, she would.
Can you imagine Rachel like sitting on your chest, just like pounding on you? Like I can envision it clearly, just to get get a moment.
I think I've been listening to too much true crime podcasts lately, but I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
So we do a thing on Gleeboot where we have our least valuable player and our most valuable player.
Amongst us? Crap.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. We rank each other.
Who are we voting off the island?
You are the weakest link.
I lost season 1. That's why I'm in Florida.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
No, among the
like she brought up true crime. It's not. I think you guys pulling out knives or something.
Yeah, Allyssa wanted to kill me. Cullen was like, "Let's send her to Florida. She'll die on her own."
Yeah.
Dude, if this was
Death Island.
If this was survival, I would win.
Okay, bring it on.
All right, guys, stay safe. Get your shanks.
What I mean of the characters in Glee.
Oh, okay.
So we nominate our favorite and our least favorite character of the episode.
Oh, okay. Well, Will's my least favorite, and my favorite's Quinn.
Quinn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of Quinn, where is she living now? Is she still with Mercedes?
With her mom.
She's with her mom?
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Because at the end of the episode, her mom was like, move back in with me.
Oh, that's
yeah, but
right.
that doesn't mean she moved in.
That
if that was
true.
me, I would have been like, fuck you. No way.
True.
No,
She had
Quinn
to
was
do
into
with
it.
Mercedes from what we knew.
Yeah.
I thought it is my belief that she is with Mercedes.
Me too. I wanted them to still be friends, and you know what? I was still fucking bummed that they weren't hanging out or talking. They didn't talk. They weren't even in the same scene together. I don't think. I think they did New York together, and that was really it.
I mean, we all have those friends that we never hang out with, and we're super close.
That's true.
You...
I'm talking to them right now.
Hey. Hey, I just got a pointed look.
Wow. I mean, we don't have to talk about your personal issues, but we can. Again, this is a safe space.
LVPs.
I'm gonna pick Sue. She was bullying Beast to a point that she had never bullied Will before. It was very, very deeply personal, and I did not care for it. It also didn't seem that logical for her, considering how, like, her sister was always, like, a moral compass for her and always kept her more objective in her bullying, if that makes sense.
Oh, I forgot she had sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's so much in Glee that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot this.
I'm gonna also go with Sue. She's just mean. Like, she's usually mean. Like, she has a mean streak, but she's deplorable in this episode. It's
absolutely
so immature. And, like, usually you can just sort of write her off as being just sort of, like, insane. Mm-hmm. But this sort of bullying felt too real to me. And I was not a fan.
Mine
was, this might surprise people, mine was Rachel.
Does not surprise me because...
No, she was a close second.
Yeah,
even though that was your favorite song.
Yeah, even though it was my favorite song, she put this girl's life in danger. It's just this storyline I would not want in my Gleeboot. It's #not my Rachel. Yeah. So who are your MVPs? Your most valuable player?
Oh,
oh, you said Quinn.
Yeah.
Who's your MVP, Alyssa?
I'm gonna go with Finn because he's kind of adorable. And I didn't mention this at all because I don't think it came up, but when he was like, I want to be part of Cheerios because I want to be popular again and I miss being popular, I was like, you adorable thing. You literally just got kicked off the football team and it's been like 5 minutes. You miss being popular. Not to mention you're in Glee, so you haven't been popular for like an entire semester.
True.
Sorry.
He also said, I have great leadership skills in that same scene. And I was like, that's so good. He's such a good
adorable. Boy. He's adorable in this episode. And, you know, he doesn't do anything purposely to make anyone feel bad. He tries to get Artie on the football team. Like, legitimately.
Yeah, he's genuine.
Yes, so genuine. And he has this really sweet thing going with Rachel, which is just, like, pure, even though you know it's probably not going to last. He's my MVP.
What about you, Hannah?
I'm going full on girl power, Tina. Good for her getting out of that toxic relationship and getting with someone who respects her, someone who cares about her, someone who's really good at dancing. He's got abs, and he's just like genuinely nice to her and has not called her woman. So good on Tina. I'm happy for her.
Thank God.
I was torn. I was gonna go with Finn because I was like, Finn is the only main character in this episode who isn't an objectively horrible person. But because you said basically everything I love about Finn in yours. So it's kind of Finn, but I'm going to go with Brittany because she has so many iconic one-liners in this episode. Gross. Stop the violence. I want to touch her boobs.
I spent the summer in the sewers.
I spent the summer lost in the sewers.
She does. Oh, wow. She does have a lot of one-liners.
Brittany came into this episode in full Brittany force, and I'm proud of her.
And she'll only keep growing from here.
She only will, and I'm excited for that journey.
Who did you say yours was again, Boaz?
Quinn,
yes.
So that is our episode for this week. Do you want to plug our social medias?
Or Somies.
So
So, our social media, we are on Instagram and Twitter. We are at Gleeboot Pod. And then we're also on Tumblr, gleebootpodcast.tumblr.com.
You can also find my YouTube channel at Ya Boy Ryan, YABOI Ryan, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Ya Boy Ryan 99.
I'm not saying my social media this episode because I don't feel like it.
Do you have anything you want to plug, Boaz?
I'm not really on social media.
Yeah, I'm
so-
like, I don't think, are we even Facebook friends? Like, yeah. But thanks so much. Tune in next week for the Britney episode where we get some Britney Spears covers. I'm real excited for it.
And thanks to our guest for coming this week. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me. It's been fun. It was not what I expected.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Intelligent
but-
conversation. Oops.
I thought I was with like diehard Glee like fans or something.
Yeah.
We're like a mix between the diehard fans and diehard haters.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty even, like up down.
But no
roller
one here is like
coaster.
fangirling over like each character.
Oh my god! No.
Yeah.
This is critical analysis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Source material.
So thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.